Warning. Listening to this show may result in increased levels of inspiration, motivation, and innovation. Side effects can include the immediate urge to take massive action to build a better business and life for yourself and others. You've been warned. Welcome to Influencers Radio with your host, Jack Mize.
And welcome back to another episode of Influencers Radio. I was thinking the other day that, we really do. We live in a world where so many people think in order to be successful in life, they need to aim for perfection. They need to strive to meet expectations set by others. And even if that means changing who they are. But for so many, especially those that are entrepreneurs, that are trying to build a business around their lifestyle, the fact is it's really unnecessary. But unfortunately, they fail to recognize the value of the unique gifts and the passions that they already possess. Well, my guest today is a personal branding and lifestyle specialist, and she believes the way that you show up in the world is your biggest brand asset. And she inspires women to tap into those unique gifts, the potential, passions, and what she calls inner deliciousness. And she helps entrepreneurs to package that potential to design a lifestyle and a brand that are magnetic and inspiring. And that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today. I'm excited to have with me today the author of Celebrate Your Deliciousness, Linda Poteet. Welcome to Influencers Radio, Linda. I am so glad to have you.
Oh, thank you so much, Jack. It's a pleasure to be on your show.
Well, first of all, before we dig in, I have to say your book, Celebrate Your Deliciousness, it's highly entertaining and has to be probably one of the more unique concepts I've read around the book. So before we do dig in, I have to ask you to walk through the concept behind this book.
Okay. I got the concept while I was out for a run one day, and I have had a lot of time in the wine country, and the lifestyle of the wine country and wine pairing really influenced my reconnection in my life. And so the book is about how the wine world and wine pairings can help you with your own life pairings. And so throughout the book, you'll have a wine pairing from an inspiring winery throughout the U.S. or Canada, where the food and the wine is there. There's a toast there for you. And then a life pairing. So you will see things, something like how you have perfect imperfection is in the book, and how to create delicious activation in your life. I don't like to call it self-improvement because truly we grow through expansion. So that takes you through the book, and it's so fun. You can do it as a group and go through and have a fun little wine pairing night as you go through the book.
Well, since you brought it up, let's talk about imperfection. I think you've managed to make imperfection an incredibly desirable trait, if that makes sense. So let's talk about that. About probably one of the biggest mistakes or the biggest misconceptions people have is aiming for perfection is aiming for that success or that lifestyle that they want.
That's what I call exquisite imperfection. It really is. So the thing that makes us the most fascinating is our imperfections. And when we learn to embody those and to celebrate those, that's what draws others to us and draws, we talk about a personal brand, and we can't all be the same. And we try to think about what others want for our lives and for who we are in the world. But it's through our imperfections that we can celebrate who we really are and bring that out to the world and truly be fascinating to others. And it's not about stuffing that down. I think a lot of times we think, okay, my imperfection is I'm overweight or something like that. And so we go on a strict diet. But it's really about embodying that, embracing that, and saying, okay, that is who I am, and I'm going to put that out in the world and celebrate that. And that's okay. That's delicious. That's who we are.
It is. You know, that word delicious. That's another, I never realized what a seductive word that was. Anybody that loves food the way that I do, you know, that's the first thing I hear when somebody says, hey, that's delicious. All right, I'm in, you know. You know, that's interesting because so many people, why our default is to think, oh, you know, I'm not interesting enough. Or do you find that's the case that you know, people are pleasantly surprised to find out that, you know, they are interesting the way they are without having to do something first to make themselves interesting?
Yes, they definitely. And actually, I was like that at a time in my own life. So I understand exactly how they think. And for a long time, I thought, you know, I needed to be perfect. And then I realized along the way that humans aren't designed to be perfect. And then messy is good, and perfection is kind of stale. So I do believe that is a hard concept for people to understand because we're programmed for that. And so when they realize, hey, wait a minute, I can have a little bit of messiness or playfulness in my life, and it won't be it will be me. It won't be who I am trying to be in the world.
And I imagine that's probably a huge turning point when people do accept that, or they have that, what I call that V8 moment. And that seems to be where so many people that, you know, they think that they're not ready. They don't think they're ready to put themselves out there. And one of the things that you do is you help, and in your words, activate women who are living a hidden life. So what exactly does that mean?
Well, we believe we're not enough. We believe we need to do more. We need to learn more. We need to have more money. We need to have this. We need that. We don't. We need to start living today. We just need to activate that in ourselves and activate who we are on the inside, our potential. You know, I talk a lot about potential, and that's because that is the person that you are becoming. You don't have to wait to become that person. You have to, you know, being that person now. And that's hard for people to understand. And then once they get that, it's a V8 or a light bulb moment of, wow, I can start living my life right now, fully alive, and have fun. And it is just a moment of freedom for their own life and their own business, because it means that you no longer have to wait. You don't have to wait for something else to happen in your life to have your life.
Maybe is that where the wine comes in? Because I think I've seen a lot of people be activated after having a few glasses of wine.
That's right. So, and it is true. You know, activating your life is, you know, enjoying the things that are delicious, the things that are of ease and beauty and style, and the things that really expand you. And, you know, it is taking the moments to go inside and forgive your past, and doing those types of things, and developing the habits that are expansion habits. But it is more of living from a place of ease than living from a place of struggle and not enough. And that's how you activate, is by taking a breath in and saying, you know what, I'm going to go out. One of the things that I do is I do a new adventure every week, and that just activates fully living. And so it's just putting those things into your life, and not eventually, but almost immediately, you're living from a new place.
I'd be willing to bet that one of the things that hold people back, even though they may have that desire that, yes, I need to do this. Okay. They may have that V8 moment, but I could see where someone may be held back because there's always that big, dark cloud of what will others think if I do this holding over them. So how do you help people get past that big fear, because it is a big fear, even when people completely buy in that there's something they really want to do, that what will others think is a big, block for them.
Right. And it was a big block in my life. And I will tell you a little crazy story. So how I got over it and how I encourage others to get over it is by giving people something to talk about. And, it's kind of along that line of that movie. But I actually, in about a week's time, I went out and I learned to drive a race car. I got a tattoo. I did all of these things that people were just like, what on earth? What is she doing? And I was like, okay, now I'm over people. People can say whatever they want. You just get over it, because people are talking anyway. So just give them something huge and amazing. Just give them something to talk about, and they'll get over it. And they'll actually be jealous of, like, wait a minute, how can she go do that? So that's what I say is that, again, it's that big expansion. Just go live. And it just breaks you out of it almost immediately when you spontaneously do things that others are going to be talking about. And, and it feels good. It's hard to describe to someone until they do it, but it feels good to say, you know what, I'm living my way. And just that moment of freedom. And if you don't even think about it, you just grab your calendar and you just lock it all in. It's amazing how fast that can turn your thinking around.
Well, I have to say that, it's not a bad question to ask yourself, what will others think? Because, if you were to ask yourself, what would others think? I can tell you from my perspective is, I need to know this woman. Right? That's what I'm thinking. I need to get to know her, right? Now, I have to admit, reading your book, it felt a little bit voyeuristic, because I felt like you were talking to women. But
That's right.
Which is fine, because it's, kind of interesting to see that. But you did have at chapter 8, you have this fusion of bliss where you talk about masculine energy paired with feminine. And I have to say, if I'm going to be completely truthful, it wasn't that word masculine that drew me. It was when you talked about pairing bacon with the ricotta pizza. It was, I think, the subtitle of that chapter. But talk about that. That's you see that's where I think that's the difference with the men and women. You have the masculine energy paired with feminine, and I immediately zeroed into the bacon, right? So.
That's right.
So talk about how that works.
Sure. Well, and actually, bacon's one of my favorite foods, so don't tell anybody about it. So how it works is that we are feminine at our core. However, we do have the masculine side that helps us in the corporate world, helps us to be decision makers. It's the more of the driven side that is perfectly great to have. It's when we let our or bring our man boots into the rest of our lives, when we're constantly in our masculine, that we can't embody the playfulness side of us, or the self-care side of us, or the fact that we really like sensual things. And when we remember that and we bring that in to the masculine, or pair it with the masculine, we can do amazing things. And not only will we can build our businesses, because we have that, we have the masculine side of the action and the business and that side of it. But at the same time, we build it in a different way, from a communicative place. And so I think that is what it does give women a bit of an advantage when you do pair the two together and just make it so that your push and hustle, which is great to have, is also fun. And it's a place of a push and hustle, but of a place of ease and fun and playfulness.
Well, and I got to say, I'm not. I've never been accused of being a slave to grammar, but and I don't know what the word is, euphemism, analogy, silly. But the way that you have, the chapters of these books of your book laid out, it really is about it, just like wine pairing, right? And
right.
And in the same way that I guess you hear people talking about how certain wines or certain foods unlock the flavor of certain wines or vice versa, it kind of goes along that theme. You talked about the corporate, the masculine part for women beneficial in corporate settings, right? Mm-hmm. And I think it was chapter 10, this is where you talked about the entrepreneur paired with a little sass, and dang it, if it wasn't the barbecue ribs that drew me to that. So would that be kind of an example of what you're talking about? That just like, you have different wines depending on what food you're having, that you don't necessarily have to make a big change to yourself, but you can, depending on the situation, is what you might pair your attitude with, or pair your, I hate to say persona, but it doesn't mean that you're the same person every time. But when you are letting yourself out, activating yourself, you don't necessarily have to be stringent in who you are, that can evolve depending on the situation, right?
Correct. Yeah. And one of the things that I put in the book is that, in the wine industry, a lot of people got to the point where they believed that there was rules around wine pairing. And there are people who do believe there's, strict rules around what you pair together. But that's part of it is with life pairings that's not the strict rules. It's bringing to you what you need at the moment and what you need in your life at the moment. So maybe you're really in your masculine at the moment, and so it is bringing in that femininity. Or maybe you're having problems with, perfection, and so it's letting yourself go outside and be dressed a little bit messy as you go out. Or, so it's about just bringing in that other side of where you're needing to grow at the moment, but without the strict rules. I love to just wine taste and go through and pick different things to go with it to see what tastes good and what lights, is just a delight. And so that's kind of what it is with your life, is pairing those things together to find what is a delight and what is just absolutely lights you up.
Well, I'm going to have to say, probably under any other circumstance, I would stay away from what I'm about to ask you about. A lot of people, it seems like they may be at a point in their life where, this is great, younger person, 20, 30, trying to break out, grow from the corporate world, maybe break away from a corporate world or change directions. But, I'm kind of set in my life. It'd be tough for me to change it. It's too late. But you, at your own admission, which is why I feel comfortable bringing it up, you're in your 50s, right? And
right.
And it wasn't until your late 40s that you stumbled onto this or uncorked the bottle. Hey, there's my own little pun with this. Huh?
There we go.
To this. So what would you say to people that I'm kind of set in my ways. My life's been planned out. It'd be too difficult to change course now.
Oh, it is never too late to live the highest version of yourself. You can start now. There's no time like the present to start celebrating your life. It's interesting how easy it is to do once you start, and you'll realize that we're actually making life. And this is something I realized. I was making life harder for myself by putting the struggle in, by putting the perfection in, by putting all of that in, when it could be so easy. And so I would say to anybody who is, in their 40s and 50s, it's not too late. I was there with, or the other things. I was a divorced single mom. I had some health issues. I actually owned a handbag design company before, and after 4 years had to close it with debt. I know that those things happen in life, and we all have those. And so, yes, there are things in life that come up, but you can reconnect to your life and live a different way by bringing in life pairings and living from the higher version.
Well, yeah, and I think you really make people, you make it believable, right? Not that it's not believable, but you make it achievable, right?
It is achievable.
When you see that, and I think that's where a lot of people is. I think that's why it's so refreshing. Is I think after people listen to you or read the book, Celebrate Your Deliciousness, that all of a sudden this thing that they maybe only, fantasized about, romanticized about, whatever you call it, it becomes this, yeah, you know what, this might actually be doable. And right. I think that's a tremendous gift that you probably give a lot of people, is just for them to accept the fact that this is something that, I really can do this. And so let's talk about the people that you work with, kind of the characteristics of the people that you are, successful in helping, cross this bridge, and maybe where they didn't even conceive that something like this was possible before. Describe this person and kind of where they're at and what that journey looks like.
Sure. I work with women, usually who are 40 and above, kind of at that second look at their lives, who are just starting an expert business or going into their business for themselves, and who are ready to really live at a new level, a level of beauty, ease, freedom, and doing what they were really meant to do in the world. And to be honest, I like women who like style and design and wine. That's just part of who I am. But actually, it's a woman who wants to live her true potential, who wants to package that so that she can build a brand, for a personal brand that's easy to market and attract others. When you're living, I really truly believe that your lifestyle is your brand. And when you're living both of those congruently, then it's just who you are. And people are attracted to who you are. A lot of us, it goes back to that fascination. And it is who you are is what's fascinating to others. And you don't have to do that. You have to activate that. And so that's who I really work with, the woman who is really ready to just draw the line in the sand and say, you know what, I'm not going to live this small, dull life just existing anymore. I'm going to really celebrate. I'm going to live and do what I'm meant to do. And, that's the woman who's just going to say, you know what, I'm ready to show up, and I'm ready to really put my business in a new place that feels good. And I'm really into, you know what, if it feels good, it's gonna make money. So, let's look at it from that point.
Yeah. And, and what I want to make sure that doesn't come across that because I'll tell you my own personal thought when I first saw the book and kind of the concept and when I was, learning about you, I for some reason I felt a rebellious tone, and maybe that's just because I'm a guy, right? Rebelling, and it's like I don't know if any of these women, if they have husbands that whoa, hey, hold on, we don't need none of this, interfering with our life. Who says you can activate? You want to activate? Well, we need to talk about this, but it's not something that I guess a man should be afraid of, to do it. So that's why I want to encourage you, to read this. Don't think it's just for women. Read through it, because I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I think, you want to pass it on, because it can really, make things exciting, things that you didn't even think about, and the simplicity of it all is really what I think is brilliant about it. So, what do people need to do, and I say people because I know you mainly work with women, but like I said, I think there's a lot of men that might want to steer, so a woman in their life, even if it's a sister, a mother, anything like that towards this. How can people find out more about, Linda Poteet and to find out about this book? Because I think what you're doing is truly remarkable.
Mm-hmm. Sure. And I will tell you that I've had several men who have read the book and said, why'd you write this just for women? The same stuff applies to men. So you're right. You can find out about me and the work I do at lindagpoteet.com. And I'm also, this book is on Amazon and Barnes & Noble, so it can be ordered through either space. And I do have sessions where people can just chat with me, complimentary sessions, and we can see how we can activate their deliciousness. So there's several ways to get in touch with me or start reading through my work.
I want to, first of all, thank you for coming on and sharing this information. And it really, you have a certain, there's something infectious about your, I don't want to say giddiness. It's not, I think it's happiness, it's just something infectious about you. You truly do. And you could tell you enjoy life and you're passionate about this. And if you're able to share that or hopefully it's contagious. I think it probably is. The lives that you can affect and again, not just the people that you work with, but the people around them, their families, their friends, their loved ones. I mean, what you have can spread, and that's why I hope it is contagious. So, and hopefully I can contribute to that contagiousness here. So definitely check out this book. It really is a fascinating, and again, I truly mean one of the most unique concepts I've seen in the book. Celebrate your deliciousness. The first thing I thought is, how can I ever say that out loud? Or I've never thought of myself as having deliciousness, but it really is fascinating. So again, thank you so much for coming on and sharing this, and I hope a lot of people discover this and discover you, because I really, you have some life-changing information here.
Thank you.
All right, folks. Well, there you have it. Definitely check it out. Celebrate your deliciousness. We'll have links on the show post, and also check out Linda's site at lindagpoteet.com. We'll have a link there as well. And until next time on Influencers Radio, remember, you are the only real game changer.
You've been listening to Influencers Radio. To get all past shows and updates on future shows, visit influencersradio.com today or follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/influencersradio.